This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by Michael Mckinson over Zoom. Michael, how are you doing?
Couldn't be better, mate. Couldn't be better. Fight news. I've had a good year so far. So yeah, I'm very well. Thank you very much.
How important was it, Michael, to have another fight announcement so soon after the Congo fight, only a few months on from that, just to continue to build momentum, really?
Yeah, I feel extremely lucky. Obviously, the world has been a mad place over the last couple of years, and big shout out to my management team, MTK, because they managed to get me out in the middle of the pandemic last year. Then secure me the opportunity to go to Gibraltar as well at the beginning of the year. So I've been, although I only had the one fight last year, I've been a lot more active than most people. So I'm pretty lucky.
Michael, given kind of the rise of yourself over this past year or so, has it brought any added pressure to continue to capitalise on the opportunities presented to you?
No, I'll do well under pressure. You know, I waited a very, very long time to showcase my talent on the big stage. So there was a lot of pressure. Gibraltar was against Congo, me being the underdog, me using my mouth quite a bit, and like it was my chance to back it up. So there was a lot of pressure on the Gibraltar fight, which I handled very well. But this time, it's more excitement. It's my first fight being promoted by Matchroom. So yeah, I'm really happy. I just can't wait to showcase my talent again on such a great card. The fight camps, obviously, there's so many good names on there, and it's going to be a great event. So I'm really happy. I'm always learning, you know. Like I'll keep getting better and better. I work very hard in the gym, so yeah, I can't wait. I think we're 8 weeks away now, 8.5 weeks away. So yeah, good times.
Michael, let's move on to fight camp. Your opponent, Mr. Ronowski, he's fought against one British opponent off the top of my head, even past Josh Kelly. Lost that fight. What's your kind of analysis of Ronowski, and what would you expect from him come August 14th?
I only found out it was Ronowski when I was on my way to the fight camp launch. Yeah, I must have been one of the last fights to be made before that launch. But my management will say whatever names are given to me, it's always yes, without any question, hesitation, stuff like that. I really do believe in myself. Ronowski's a very tough opponent, very dangerous opponent. Obviously, he had a wide points loss to Josh Kelly. That's his only defeat. Since then, he's had a few good knockout wins. He knocked out the guy that knocked out Robbie Davis Jr. in his last fight, that's Soroka. So he's coming off 2 good knockout wins. So he's going to be very confident. He's going to be very game. But I don't see it going any way than my other 20 fights have been, you know. I always find a way. And I'll just be a level above.
I know in the past you've said, Michael, your power doesn't kind of show in your record so far. But is this a chance to make a statement to kind of produce a better performance than what Josh Kelly did? Because obviously when Josh, prior to his Avanesian fight, there's still a lot of excitement around his name. But before that, Olympian, he'd achieved a lot as an amateur, coming through the ranks, talking about the world scene. For you, if you could better what Josh produced against Ronowski, is that something you're thinking about?
Well, I'm just focused on myself, really, and what I need to do. Like, obviously, a lot of people are going to compare my performance to Josh Kelly's performance, being both British guys fighting him. But yeah, people do underestimate my punching ability. I've scored 9 knockdowns in my last 6 fights. Like and I'm in there with good opponents every time, and they all hit the deck. You know, I'm not too worried about what people think and stuff like that. I'll just focus on myself. The most important thing to me is to just keep building, keep learning, because I do think I can go a long way in this sport. This is obviously another big challenge for me, a challenge that I'm excited for, you know. But it's a fight that I know that I can look good winning this. You know, I can really look good winning this. So yeah, we'll just see. We'll see.
Since the announcement on Monday, then Michael, how much of Ronowski have you looked into and studied so far?
Before the fight got made, I remember him fighting Josh Kelly, and so when I first got the fight and it first got made that morning, I knew who he was, sort of. Then I'd looked up his record, and that he's coming off 2 knockout wins against a dangerous unbeaten guy, 11-0, 9 knockout guy, and then Soroka. So since the Kelly defeat, he's obviously bounced back very well. He's going to be very confident. Don't know too much on him. The only fight I can really look into is the Josh Kelly fight, because I remember a little bit. So, but it doesn't matter. Like, there's been times I've not even studied my opponents and I've come out winning. Like Chris Congo, I didn't watch any of him in the build up to the fight. I'd watched him before the fight got made. In the build up to the fight, I didn't watch any of his fights. I didn't watch any of his interviews. I just focused on myself. If I focus on myself, and put the work in, I'm confident I can beat a lot of people. I've got a great team that do the studying. I'll probably watch Ronowski a few times, but I've got a good team that do the studying, and I'll just trust what they think and put the work in and do as I'm told.
Now, Michael, just also you can get your thoughts on a few other fights that were obviously announced. One being between Maxime Prodan and Florian Marku. Just firstly, your thoughts on that. What do you make of it?
Who is Maxime Prodan's the question. He's not really fought anyone. It looks good on paper. It looks good on paper for Florian. Great bit of management there. Like great fight for Florian, that is, because he's 19-0. Was it 15 knockouts?
Yes.
He's got, yeah, but he's not boxed anyone himself. But Florian puts in a good display of boxing. He'll be more respected because he's fought a 19-0 guy that holds the title, you know. So I think, I don't know who this Prodan is. He's come from nowhere, so I can't really give an opinion on who I think will win. But yeah, that's all I've got to say about that. Really, he's an unknown nobody, isn't he? With a built-up record. But my comment on that is a great bit of matchmaking.
We've spoken about it in the past, Michael, but with Florian, he comes through, you come through. Would there be any interest there for maybe if you used to fight once more this year? I imagine you'll want to, but unless you have like any injuries or what have you. Would be any interest to match up with Florian?
If I'm being real, the only thing Florian brings is his hype and his fan base and things like that. He's a very popular guy and his people really do get behind him. Other than that, I'm levels above. I am levels above. And that's not me being disrespectful. I've proven myself in the boxing ring time and time again. Florian hasn't fought anybody. He looked awful against that when he had the draw. I thought he won, but I thought he boxed awful. And was his name Stuart?
Stuart.
Yeah.
Stuart.
I was looking at that thinking, what's all the hype about? Like, I was actually laughing at myself. Like, why is he calling out Conor Benn and like things like that? He's no good. And then he boxed very well against Ryan Charlton. Ryan Charlton was a 7-fight novice himself, you know, who's really a lightweight, super lightweight. So, but he did perform, although he got dropped, he did perform well. So you've got to give Florian credit. But if he wants to mention my name along with Florian Marku's name, not mine and Conor's name, it's not really fair at the moment, because me and Conor have actually fought decent level opponents, experienced opponents, where Florian hasn't yet. If he comes through Prodan and he gets a good ranking, then it's more realistic to talk about Florian's name. But good luck to him. Good luck to him. Like, I don't really need to badmouth him. I'm not fighting him. I'll keep my opinions to myself until the time's right. But yeah, good luck to him.
Michael, did you have any interactions with Florian at the fight camp announcements on Monday? I know that he had a few words to share with Conor Benn. Did you run into him at all?
No. I see him about there. We didn't say hello to each other. I've never spoke to Florian in my life.
What did you make of his interactions with Conor Benn?
Nothing to do with me, mate. Let them crack on. Like, I was there. I was in the background. I weren't too far from it happening, but didn't even bother going over and putting my nose in. Like, it's nothing to do with me. I've got Ronowski to focus on now. Obviously, I've called for them type fights for a long time. I haven't got them. So until there's a chance of me fighting, well, especially Conor, but if Florian starts getting good rankings and that, then we can have the altercations. At the minute, it doesn't. Yeah, I'm not interested. Don't interest me at all.
On the Conor Benn, Michael, obviously he fights on the first week of the fight camp shows. What do you make of his bout with Benn-Granados?
It's a good fight. Obviously, Benn-Granados has got a few losses, but he's a name. He's a better name than Samuel Vargas, 100%. He's had some points defeats to some great fighters. Like when Florian and Conor was having that little bit of disagreement, and Florian was going, "Your guys had 9 losses." Granados is better than Prodan, way better than Prodan. You know what I mean? So, yeah, good. Like I've met Conor a few times. I spoke to him a few times, and although I've called him out for so long, like I've got no hate towards Conor Benn really. Like, what's the point in hating him? He's a really respectful guy. We had a good chat on the weekend. It frustrates me how respectful and how nice he is. but yeah, good luck to him as well. Like, I'm sure in the future, if I keep doing my thing, our paths will cross. But yeah, I'm on my own sort of path right now. If that fight ever comes about in the future, great. But at the minute, I don't need it.
Michael, just coming back to yourself then, on the back of what you've just said, do you hold any interest in any of the, or do you see rather, I know you hold an interest in some fights, but do you see any of the domestic names being a potential fight for you maybe before the year's out or in maybe the beginning of next year?
Domestic, because like, the only ones worth talking about for me right now is Conor Benn, Josh Kelly, and David Avanesian. Right? I know there was something the other day that me and Conor turned down a fight with David. As far as I'm concerned, I haven't turned down anything. I haven't been offered anything. You know, like, I'm in the sport to have big fights. I'm in this sport to do great things for my city. So of course I would take that, you know. But yeah, they're the only ones really worth talking about over here. I know David's Russian, but he's based over here, isn't he? So, but yeah, like, I'm happy with how MTK are guiding my career, and now being promoted by Matchroom. So there's been times in the past where I've been a little bit frustrated of, oh, I want this name to get to the stage. I'm on the stage now. So whoever's given to me, yes, I'll take, no problem. And I'll put the work in and make them look like nobodies, like I have done 20 times before.
Just final one with Michael, as you mentioned him, Josh Kelly, as we said earlier, he's thought of in high regard with regards to British boxing. It's an interesting fight between the pair of you because of your styles. What do you think would happen if you both were to meet?
I've sparred Josh twice, but probably about 3 or 4 years ago now. He's a very good fighter. Like, don't let that David Avanesian defeat like fool anyone. Like, I still rate him as top 3 in the UK, or top 2 in the UK. Like, he's very talented, but I'm a very good fighter myself. It's not of, oh, how good do I think Josh is, how good do I think David Avanesian is, or Conor Benn, it's how good am I? And I know that the public have seen just a fraction of how good I am. There's so much more to my, like, I'm being labelled as, oh, he's an awkward southpaw, he's a tricky fighter. That's my label right now. And yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm not called the problem for no reason. Like, I am an awkward southpaw, but there's so much more to my ability that I want to show, because I don't want that label. Oh, he's an awkward southpaw. No, I'm a very clever fighter. I'm very quick. I've got good feet. Like, there's so much more to my ability that I haven't shown yet. And now that I'm on the Matchroom cards, what better way to showcase what I've got? You know, and like, and in terms of all them names being talked about, I've got respect for all of them. They're all great fighters, but so am I. You know, and now it's my turn to take over.
Right, Michael, we will leave it there now. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day because I know you've got to shoot off at 11. So before I let you go, final word to yourself, for your fans, for your followers ahead of your bout on August 14th. What would you like to say to everyone?
Yeah, well, my sponsors have been absolutely amazing. So like, they're the backbone of my life, and my city as well. I know there's going to be a few tickets released, but they're going to be really difficult to get hold of. So my supporters, there's going to be a slim chance of them being behind me for this fight, but I know they're raring to go and ready to take over shows. So big love to my city of Portsmouth. I'll get the job done in Eddie's back garden, and then we'll take over a big arena, hopefully.
Right, Michael, I appreciate your time today. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful weather whilst we have it, and thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Brilliant. Nice one, mate.